One surprising, interesting thing from Illinois' media day that came out yesterday, or I guess it wasn't a media day, but Brad Underwood meeting with the media as Illinois practices begin, surprised me at least. Maybe it didn't surprise people within the Illinois program, but apparently Mihailo Petrovic is still awaiting official clearance from the NCAA. I thought he got this. I thought when he was cleared to come over that was his official clearance and he was able to practice. He has been able to practice. Apparently, there's still some gap between the NCAA's official "you're cleared for game" participation with "you can practice with your program." I don't know what that is. I'm not implying that Illinois has done anything wrong, but I am just interpreting Brad Underwood's latest update on this. This is what Brad had to say. Quote, "Everything's moving. It's just been a later process for him because of things that were uncontrolled by everybody. It's just a little slower process. We'll wait until final eligibility. Until we hear that, we've done everything we can do on our end." Now, want to remind you, this happened to Thomas Lavavicic last year. In September, he was not cleared for games either, even though he had come to Illinois. He got his official clearance for the season days before the season began. So Brad Underwood clearly is comfortable operating in the mud on this, and it sounds like they're not worried. But the status check is, yeah, we're still waiting. And that seems a little bit ominous when they themselves admit there's nothing else we can do. It's out of our hands. We're still waiting. So do with that what you will. To add to this, Jeremy Werner had some great reporting on some takeaways as practice begins on the early looks of the team. And he wrote this up for the Illini Inquirer with 24/7. Shout out to Werner. Great coverage as always. Go support those guys. But some quotes on how Petrovic has been fitting in from Brad Underwood. He said, quote, "I think there was some struggles early, just in terms of he's been a ball dominant point guard his whole life. Now he's playing with three or four guys who are really good at it as well. So learning spacing, the American style, learning the same things that Kasparis went through. The pace of play, it really fits him because he's fast, he's got great speed, but he learns every day. I think he's finding out the intensity with which we play on the defensive side. He's got the ability. He's really, really strong, bought into the conditioning piece, buying in defensively, and getting better every day." End quote. Let's talk Petrovic. Waiting for clearance officially, some bumps early, going through the same things Kasparis went through. How we feeling, Dion?
So just so I know that we're all like I'm not going crazy. We have a point guard who barely got into the country. And then once he was here, like he may play, he may not play. He may just be in Champaign for a year going to class. He's also 23. So like what classes does he actually have to go to? Because he's like 6 years removed from high school. We have a small forward who transferred from Cal, has a knee injury that no one has any idea when he's going to play basketball. We have both the Visic brothers now, so that's fun. All we know about them is they refuse to play defense and they probably drink a good amount of beer.
And Big Z's in the best shape of his life.
Big Z's in the best. Oh, and then Humrizzi added 25 pounds of muscle, but we don't exactly know why, but he did do it.
Humrizzi's not happy to be here anymore.
Not happy to be. Now he's upset that he's here. This team is crazy. Well, I don't like truthfully, I don't know what the answer is if Petro can't play basketball. If I'm Petro, by the way, don't hit me talking about do you want to come to Illinois early unless you know I'm playing basketball. Like, don't ask me to fly across the world unless you know I'm playing basketball.
So I will put my foot down here. He's going to play. If Petrovic did not end up getting official clearance from the NCAA, there would be riots. And
I, I
sorry, I
can't.
hit my mic and I muted it. That's what happens. I get fired up with Brad Underwood. There would be riots if Petro was not cleared by game one. Like so many international players have come over and gotten clearance successfully that if this just for whatever reason hasn't happened yet with Petro, it's going to happen. So let me reassure if anyone was reading this and was like, wait a second, what? I thought he was cleared like me. It's going to be fine. Brad's not worried about it. It's just a confusing process. That's my interpretation of it. The quotes on how Petro's looked in practice are the more interesting part to me. And I don't know. You just alluded to like, well, what would you do if you didn't have Petro? Brad's quote here that he's still integrating, he's adjusting. We've got three or four guys who are really good at this as well. Petro's been a ball dominant point guard. We got three or four other guys who are really good as well. He's got to figure out how to adjust. Who are the three or four other guys? Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girls' sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy, love his wife. Love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more. Kylan, but who else?
That like could handle the ball.
You don't have three or four other guys that are good point guards. You straight up, the roster doesn't have that. That like the entire sell on Petro was to come be a ball dominant point guard. So for
Yeah,
Brad's quote here to be like he needs to learn how to not be a ball dominant point guard. We got three or four other guys. Huh? No, you don't. The whole sell was that you were bringing in this 23-year-old dude who was the ball dominant point guard. So I'm just confused on it. Like Keaton Wagler's not that. The other freshman's not. It's Kylan. Kylan's the only other guy on the roster that could even be interpreted at all as that. And I'm confused by this.
I don't think they have 4 point guards on the roster. To be honest with you, he's the only point guard on the roster. That's like my fears. Like what are you gonna do? You kind of built the whole team around the kid.
Right. The entire roster was built for Mihailo to be a ball dominant point guard. And then the first quote is like, well, he's got to learn how to adjust to not being a ball dominant point guard anymore. Like, what? What is the plan with this entire team, man? Every guy right now, individually, I feel like the staff is saying the opposite of what I would think the plan is. Now, that's probably a good sign for Illinois fans because I'm an idiot. So whatever I say they should do, if they just do the opposite, that's usually a pretty good plan of attack here. I'm certainly not meaning to imply that I'm smarter than Brad Underwood. I'm not. He's great. But yeah, just the archetypes of these guys, they're like going in the opposite direction for everybody. Andre's here for defense. We're going to use him like Terrence Shannon. Rick House, he needs to get bigger. Petro needs to learn how to not be a ball dominant point guard. Like one by one by one, I would think the opposite is the plan. It would also it just scares me hearing this out loud. Learning the same things Kasparis went through. The whole sell of this team from Illinois fans to me in buying in is that Petro doesn't need to go through the learning curve that Kasparis did. Because Kasparis was young and wild and crazy. He's a wild and crazy guy. Mihailo's supposed to be smart and old and plug and play and vetty. So if Mihailo's going through the same learning curve that the 19-year-old went through, minor red flag. Thought there wasn't a learning curve with the 23-year-old guy. That's the whole sell on this team being better because Petrovic is not as talented as Kasparis. So if he runs into the same learning curve issues that Kasparis did learning how to run this team, we probably are going to have some issues at point guard.
Yeah, I mean, all these quotes are terrifying. Has Underwood had a quote this summer where it's like, you know what, this team's really good? I I feel like every Underwood quote is like, yeah. Andre, like, no idea if he's going to play basketball. Petro, haven't got his clearance yet. He might play, he might not. The Avisages are in Illinois, somewhere in the state. We don't know where exactly, but we know they're in the state. But Helm Rickhouse, not happy to be here anymore, 25 pounds of muscle. And then it's every other quote is a reminder that Kasparis isn't on the team anymore. We realized that when he got drafted by the Heat 3 months ago. Like, we don't need you to remind us he's gone.
Yeah, he did have one moment. There was like a I want to say a banquet or something, some sort of function, and he was up there saying, "Yeah, this team has the talent to be our best group yet." And that includes Terrence Shannon's team. So he has gone on record and at least said he believes in this team. But yeah, player by player, I'm getting a little bit confused, man. A little bit confused, but we'll see. Petro, he's got to get cleared. Also, let's just end with this. NCAA looking at you. Be better. Just be better. Just clear the kid. If he's cleared for practice, what are we waiting on? You don't need to wait on anything. Don't make these kids wait until 48 hours before their first game. It's crazy.